will never understand our time now in the way that historians coming 50 years from now will understand it. They'll be a lot clearer about what was really going on than we can be. Nevertheless, I feel a great need to try to be as clear as possible, and in a way to put forward to my readers as clearly as possible my sense of what are the sort of lines of developments that are mainly going on behind our backs, that we are not intending, but they're happening despite our intentions, so that we can get a clearer sense of what our real options are. I think of myself not just as a philosopher, but rather as a critical social theorist in the Frankfurt School sense. That is, I see my project, my intellectual work, as aiming to contribute to building a picture of society today in a more general and even totalizing sense. I aim to contribute to developing a diagnosis of the times that combines insights from many different disciplines. My working group at the Free University, which we call the Einstein Crisis Group, understands crisis in a very broad sense. So we're interested not only in economic and financial crisis, although we are, but also in ecological crisis, in social crisis, in political crisis, and in what I might call the crisis of emancipation. The point, though, is not to study these forms of crisis separately, but to understand how they relate and cross-cut and interimbricate with one another in something that adds up, in our view, to a kind of general crisis of our times. In a nutshell, my feeling is that the movements for emancipation in our time have ended up on the pro-market side of things. I think that's the case for feminism, but it's true not just of feminism, but of all these emancipatory movements that took on a certain consumerist, meritocratic, equal opportunity, pro-market kind of valence. And our group is exploring that in a number of different areas. One person is looking at environmentalism and whether a significant part of the green movement is entering into a similar kind of alliance in the area of green finance and this kind of stuff. Somebody else is looking at Occupy movements, alter globalization movements, to see if they have ended up somehow converging with the very neoliberalism that at an earlier point they seemed to want to oppose. In all these cases, it's a story of unintended consequences that need to be made explicit so that people can look at it and say, is this what we really want? Is this really where we want to go? Is there another path? I disagree with the view that the academy must be an ivory tower and people should never also be public intellectuals. I do want, for myself, to be a public intellectual as well as a scholar. One of the things that has been so terrific about my work, my collaboration with the Einstein Foundation, is the chance to really get to know Berlin in a much deeper way and to develop a rich network. Now that I've seen what this kind of foundation investment can do, I can see how much it's absent and missed in a city like New York, which has tremendous intellectual resources, but lacks anything comparable to an Einstein Foundation that could bring them together in a way and help internationalize them. That makes me see that something important is really happening here, and this foundation is making a real difference.